CEO of Blackstone made 126 million in compensation. We're seeing some of these guys are making huge amounts in compensation. Question to Mr. Akbas, and I'll go down to the whole panel. Do you think it is fair that somebody who makes 126 million in compensation pays the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund as somebody who makes 184,000? Is that fair?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I think it's important to consider that Social Security is structured as an earned benefit program. And so while
I know we can go on for hours. I'm just asking you, you're the average person here. Is it fair?
I agree we need to be collecting more revenue from higher income taxpayers as part of the solution to Social Security's.
Ms. Melito, do you think it's fair?
Social Security was set up as a contributory comp act, so as it is now, that is the system we are working under.
Well,
and I think it was also President Clinton, too, that also cautioned against raising taxes.
What President Clinton said is fine. That's not my view. I simply asked you whether it is fair. But the ordinary person thinks it's fair that somebody's making 100 million, pays the same amount into the trust fund as somebody's making 184,000. Do you think it's fair?
The way Social Security is established now, yep.
Okay. Ms. Altman?
No, I don't. And in fact, it's even worse. Jeff Bezos, one of the wealthiest men in the world, only pays himself $80,000, so he pays less than someone making $184,500.
Okay. Ms. Altman, some of my Republican colleagues in one form or another have talked about raising the retirement age, privatizing Social Security, cutting COLAs, and reducing Social Security benefits. What impact would that have on millions of seniors?
As you said in your opening statement, seniors are already, and people with disabilities are struggling to get by. They're deciding between food and medicine, and all of those changes that you named would make that struggle much harder, and it would hurt the economy. For every dollar of Social Security benefits that are paid, it generates $2 of economic activity, and the reverse is true if you cut those benefits.
Ms. Altman, I want you to say a word about a fact that I don't think is widely known, but it really is an American tragedy, and that is due to a lack of funding for the Social Security Administration, some 30,000 Americans with disabilities die every year waiting for the Social Security benefits they have earned. What should Congress do about this? Is the Trump administration considering making this problem even worse?
Unfortunately, the Trump administration has already made it worse. It's forced out the most experienced workers and really decimated the agency. I think what Congress should do is immediately enact the Keep Billionaires Out of Social Security Act, which provides the money that pays for Social Security and the administration of it don't add a penny to the deficit. They all come out of dedicated revenue.
All right, Mr. Chairman, you know, there is always a reason given why we should not ask the wealthiest people in this country who have enormous political power through their super PACs, et cetera, always a reason why they should not be asked to pay their fair share of taxes. But today, as I mentioned earlier, we are living in a rather strange moment in American history. Never before in American history have so few held so much wealth and so much power. And meanwhile, while the people on top have never, ever had it so good, we are seeing senior citizens in Vermont and throughout this country literally struggling to pay for their prescription drugs, to put food on the table, heat their homes. In the richest country on earth, we can do better than that. And I think basically, bottom line here is this Congress is going to have to summon up the courage to stand up to some enormously powerful people and their super PACs and expand Social Security benefits, extend the solvency of Social Security, and do that by lifting the cap that currently exists. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask a question of Senator Sanders real quickly? Senator Sanders, I don't know. is, in your, I gather there's a donut hole, is this bottom figure indexed to inflation?
The donor hole is right now, we are at 250, you're at 184. And is it indexed to inflation? No, it's not.
Not, okay, thank you.
Senator Johnson.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, well, we'll never fix this if we're not willing to take a look at the reality of what Social Security is. Again, it was a forced savings program. What you paid in was supposed to be invested, and then the beauty of compound interest, you'd be able to collect retirement based on what you paid in. Correct, Mr. Akapos?
Excuse me, sorry, Senator, yes.
And again, Americans thought that that money was being invested, but the money was spent, it's gone, right? And in its place was a U.S. government bond put into the trust fund. So how much value does a U.S. government bond have to a U.S. government agency? The answer is zero, right? Because when the trustees take that bond to pay out benefits because benefits exceed revenue right now, the U.S. Treasury just has to issue another bond, right?
Correct.
So again, the trust fund is a fiction. And already we are either borrowing or taking out of the general fund to make up the difference between benefits and receipts, correct?
On an annual basis, yes.
So again, what's unfair about the lifting the cap is it violates the basis, the basic foundation of Social Security, which is you pay in and you get out what you pay in. But so if you want to turn it into a total welfare system, that's a different conversation. Already, it's quite the welfare system. I'll submit for the record, Table 1, the money's worth ratios for hypothetical workers with various earnings levels. And I'll just talk about the middle three, low income, median income, and high income. The people who benefit best are one earner couples. They get the most out of Social Security. So if you're a low income, again, this is a very detailed table, but the people who make out the best is somebody born in 1973, single income couple. They get $3.33 out for every buck they put in, okay? If you're a single man, high wage earner, born in 1943, you're gonna get 63 cents out. So again, it's all over the map, but it's very imprecise in terms of what you put in versus what you get out. And now what the Democrats want to do is they just want to alleviate that, do great harm to our economy, because again, small businesses that gets taxed at the individual level. Mr. Bezos is a C corp, and I'd love to talk to you about taxing all business income at the ownership level, turn everybody into pass-throughs. Then you wouldn't have that problem. But again, you've got to recognize how gross